are going to start in our
You moved.
I moved?
You're in a different place.
Yes, I am in a different place. I had to have
Wait a minute. What happened?
Yes, change of scenery tonight. So, yeah. So hopefully it works. We'll see, but bear with me. So, okay, we'll start, seated. So if you got that blanket, that pillow, that whatever you have, or maybe you're in a change of scenery and you have a chair or a bed or something nearby, but just grab that seat. Oh, and just get all comfy in. So as always, just take any little movements that you need, come to that tall, comfortable seat, find your way to that center seat. So we've got our hips kind of grounded down, hips are heavy towards the floor. See if you can release through your thighs, through your legs. Let your knees just be heavy, hanging towards the floor here. Now you can rest. We'll start with a little breathing exercise tonight. And so you can either just allow your hands to rest heavy on your lap, or if it feels comfortable for you, you could bring both hands to your belly. Or maybe you keep your left hand on your belly, bring your right hand just to the middle of your chest. So just tuning in a little bit more to that breath here. Whenever you find yourself in that comfortable position, maybe take one more shoulder roll down and away. Shoulders are heavy. Find yourself still seated tall and begin to take your eyes down to the ground or even to close. So take a second here, just welcome yourself to this time on your mat. As always, this time is just for you. So make it what you need. Start to tune into your breath. So let whatever's going on in the area around you, whether it's physically in the area around you, or maybe just mentally in the space of your head, let anything buzzing around just fade into the background. Tune into that breath. Feel each inhale enter. Maybe you feel that slightly cool air entering in through your nose or your mouth. You feel that exhale, that slight warmth as the air leaves your body. Now just gently start to slow your breath down just a little bit. Focus on the slow, even, steady inhales and exhales. We're just going to start tonight with a few rounds of our 3-part breath. So this 3 parts is filling up. Air moves from our belly. We fill up all the way from the bottom of our belly to our middle chest and all the way to our upper chest. As we exhale, we'll release from the top of our chest, middle of our chest, and all the way from the belly. Push any remaining air up and out. So let's walk through the first couple rounds of it together. You can take a few on your own after that. So focusing on these deep 3-part breaths, it just helps us to concentrate on our breath as always, using that as our anchor, staying here. But physiologically, it also has some benefits of just slowing ourselves down, bringing us into a space of relaxation, calming, some stress relieving properties of it. Always a nice way to begin a class, a nice way to take a little break anytime that we need it. So, all right, we'll begin a few rounds together here. So whenever you get there, on your next inhale, breathe in deeply through your nose, direct all that air down, down, down to the bottom of your belly. Fill it up. Feel it fill up to the middle of your chest. Finally, it fills to the very top of your chest. Maybe a slight hold when you fill all the way up. And then as you exhale, release it from the top, the middle. Finally, pushing from your belly. Feel your core engage as you push all that remaining air up and out. Taking another deep breath in, direct that air all the way down, filling up from the bottom. When you get to the very top, hold just a second, carefully releasing, starting at the top, moving down, finally pushing any remaining air up and out. Taking a couple more breaths, just your own pace here. See if you can feel each of those 3 parts of your breath. As you breathe in, you feel your belly fill, rib cage fill, chest fills. As you exhale, maybe soften. All right, wherever you are, let's take one more full breath. So take one more deep breath in, filling up all the way. Pause at the top. Exhale, release it all, let it go. Finally pushing in your belly, pushing all that air out. After you release it all, let yourself go, returning to a normal pattern of breathing. If you had your hands on your belly, your hands on your chest and your belly, let your hands gently fall to your lap. Take a couple more breaths just at your own normal pace. When you're ready, find a little bit of movement, maybe just wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes, rolling your shoulders. Finally, gently flickering your eyes open, staying in this seat. Let's begin to find a little bit more movement here. So from here, we're going to take our hands, we're going to place them behind our head. So fingers interlace, go behind the very back of your head. Thumbs are going to rest on the sides of your neck, just below your skull. From here, let your elbows fall wide apart. Just let your head just gently rest back into your hands here. So maybe rest in some stillness. Maybe find a little bit of movement, gently, slowly, very small. Take your head from side to side. Continue breathing here. If you feel any little sticky points, maybe just hold there for a second. All right, and if you are moving, coming back, finding some stillness, head at center. Let's reverse this. So let's take our gaze down to the ground. As we do this, elbows come towards each other. Now hands stay on the back of your head. We're not going to be pulling head down, just gently adding a little bit of a weight here. All right, resting here, maybe just resting is great for you, but one more time, option, carefully, slowly, smallly start to take your head from side to side. All right, finding our way back to center. Let's inhale, let's lift our head up, open elbows wide, gaze up. This time as we exhale, we're going to move back and forth between these two. So elbows come towards one another as we take our head down, gaze down to the ground. Inhale, open up. Exhale to round, just a couple more here. Move with your breath. Take time. All right, one more on your next inhale, open up. Exhale, round over. As you inhale again, just lift back to center. You can release your hands from behind your head. From here, we'll stay seated just a little while longer. Let's just recross. So take that opposite leg in front here. Find yourself settle back into your comfortable seat. All right. Now from here, we're gonna find our cactus arms. So we're gonna find this position a couple of times throughout our practice tonight. So a little active shoulder opening, chest opening, all that good stuff. So as you come with your cactus arms, see if you can lift your elbows so they are straight out from your shoulders, and then your wrists and hands are straight up from those elbows, palms facing forward. Holding here just a moment. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. You feel the backs of your hands, backs of your forearms press to the back of the room. All right, finding a little bit of movement here. On your next exhale, let's bring our forearms and our palms to press together in front of our face. Now see if you can really press hard. Just a second. As we inhale again, let's open wide. Just a couple more of these. Exhale, press together. Maybe take your gaze down as you press your forearms together. As you open wide, can you look up? All right, one more time. Press those forearms together. As you inhale, open wide. Let's gently release your hands down to the floor in front of you. We're just gonna take a gentle little forward fold here. So just walk your hands just as far as you like. Maybe you just come to your fingertips and rest here. Feel yourself rest, release. Couple of breaths, maybe you can sink yourself a little bit further forward. Take a deep breath in, a deep breath out. As you inhale, let's walk ourselves back up to that seated position. And one more time, we're gonna find those cactus arms again. So lifting up, maybe see if you feel a little different this time. Take a deep breath in, a deep breath out. We're gonna find some gentle twists here in our cactus arm shape. So taking a deep breath in, sit tall. As you exhale, we're just gonna turn over towards the right side. As you inhale, come back through center. Keep those elbows lifted. Exhale, turn a little bit or a lot of it over to the left. Move back and forth here. Move with your breath. See if you can match your movements to your breath, not changing your breath to match those movements. Right. One more full round here. Turning to the right. Turning to the left. The next time that you come back to the right, let's hold right there. So we come, we're facing the right, we're in our cactus shape. Let's release this right hand down to the floor behind us. So coming to fingertips, maybe to your palms, finding a little twist here. Maybe this is great for you. Stay right here for a couple more breaths. But maybe you start to extend that left arm up to the sky. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. If you wish, taking this a little further, we're gonna flip our palm to the back of the room and just gently start to lean back, maybe looking up towards that left hand up in the sky. One more big breath in. Big breath out. As you inhale next, let's find our way back to our center seat here, carefully unwinding, then moving to turn towards the left. We're just finding our twist on this side. So again, holding right here in the cactus facing the left, maybe that's great for you. Maybe you allow those left fingers to find the floor. Maybe you start to extend that right arm up to the sky. Maybe you flip that right palm to face the back of the room. Start to gently lean back, looking straight up at that right hand in the sky. On your next breath in, carefully release, coming back the exact way that you came, facing forward. Let's take another fold forward. Gently allowing those hands just coming in front of you, maybe creeping a little bit further this time. Let your chest be heavy towards the floor, your head heavy towards the floor. Just let go. Finding some stillness here, or one more time, maybe gently taking your head, looking from side to side. Take 3 more deep breaths here. On each exhale, can you sink a little bit further into your fold? After your third breath, take your time, no rush. After that third exhale, carefully lift yourself up to that seat. And from here, we're gonna make our way to our hands and our knees, our tabletop. So just take your time. There's no rush to get there. All right, but find yourself in your tabletop. So making sure that you're feeling firm and supported here. Whatever that looks like in terms of your feet tucked under or flat to the floor. You look down at your knees, you find them hip distance. You feel your hands firmly planted to the ground. We'll move through just a couple rounds of our cat and cows, or any other movement that you'd like to find right now. So if you want to move with me in our cat and our cows, on our next inhale, let's tilt that tailbone up. Belly softens towards the ground. We pull chest forward, gaze looking forward. As we exhale, let's tuck that tailbone under, rounding through our shoulders, tucking chin to chest. Crown of your head points down towards the ground. Inhale, open up. Exhale, rounding over. Continue. We've got a few breaths here. Again, if you'd like to find any added movements or any other movements, please do. Couple more breaths. After your next exhale, whenever you get there, just find your way back to your neutral position here. Now we're going to step our right foot up in between our hands. We're going to find our low lunge here, but we're going to find that short low lunge. So we're keeping that left knee right underneath our left hip. That right foot is stepping forward, right ankle, right heel are right below our right knee. We're going to squeeze that right knee in towards the midline, point it straight forward. Knee is tracking over the middle of our right foot. Now this left foot back here, you can keep your toes tucked under if that helps you feel more supported, or always have the option to go top of your foot flat to the floor here. All right, So make sure that you are feeling stable wherever you are. Your hands might be on the ground still. Whenever you're ready, we're just gonna lift up, maybe stopping right here, hands to the top of our right thigh. Again, finding stability here first. All right, once you are stable, we're gonna lift up and we are gonna find that cactus arms here. So find that place, see if you can lift your elbows in line with your shoulders. Taking a couple of deep breaths in, you might start to take your palms slightly up towards the sky. Can you take your gaze up to the sky? So finding just a little back bend here, if that feels okay for you. All right, on your next inhale, just coming back to neutral. We're gonna take a little twist here. So we're gonna twist open first. So we are gonna twist to the left side. Now as you're doing this, notice if you feel that right leg start to pull over to the left, can you keep it pointing straight forward? Now as you inhale, let's come back through center. We're gonna twist the opposite direction this time, so turning over to the right, lift those elbows. Now again, if you felt that right knee start to splay out to the right, can you pull it back to center? All right, option to stay just right here for a few more breaths. However, if you'd like, we're gonna take this right hand, bring it to your low back. So the heel of your hand, the palm of your hand, maybe it comes right to the low back, right above your tailbone. Staying here is a great option. Keep twisting, keep opening that chest to the right side of the room. Now maybe you extend that left arm up to the sky, straight. Finding that twist, that same position that we did as we were seated here. Maybe this is enough for you. If you want to take it a little bit deeper, maybe you release that right hand from your low back, reach that right hand down towards your left leg behind you. Maybe you can start to lean back, those fingertips, find your leg, your heel. Keep twisting, turning that torso towards the right. You might take your gaze up to the sky if that feels okay for you. Wherever you are, couple of deep breaths right here. Wherever you ended up, carefully, slowly, with control, start to make your way back the same way that you came. Now turning to face the front, we're gonna release our hands down to the ground, but both hands are gonna come to the inside of that right foot. Now if you happen to have blocks or anything, you can always use that, coming to bring the floor a little bit closer to you, lifting up. You have the option to stay here in this short lunge, this short lizard, or shifting your weight into this right foot and your hands. Can you tuck your left toes under, pressing them into the floor, lift that left knee, maybe scoot that left leg back. You can keep that left knee lifted or set it down, making your way to that extended lunge here. All right, holding in this lizard here. You have several options. You can stay exactly as you are. Maybe you lower down to your forearms. Maybe this right foot, you spin onto the pinky blade of your foot, swinging that right knee out to the side, allowing for a little bit more hip opening. Maybe you find a little bit of movement. Maybe movement is feeling really good to you instead of holding still. So maybe you just gently open that right knee to the right, then squeeze it back in towards that right arm. Open it up. Squeeze it in. Find gentle movement here, or your stillness, whatever you need. Couple more breaths. So from here, we're gonna make our way back to our hands and our knees. So take your time thinking about your movements. How can you be most kind to yourself and get there still? So carefully, carefully make your way in your own time back to that tabletop position. Find a little bit of movement, maybe some cat and cows, maybe sinking hips towards your heels. Anything you like, some hip sways, take a moment, anything that would feel good, a little reset. All right, then finding your way to stillness here. We'll just take a little puppy pose. So keeping your knees below your hips lifted up. Just start to walk your hands forward, allowing your chest to start to soften towards the ground. Now you can take your forehead towards the floor. If you'd like to go a little bit deeper, take your chin towards the ground, take your gaze up to the top of your mat, looking between your fingers, between your thumbs. On your next breath, carefully start to walk your hands back underneath your shoulders, finding your way back to that tabletop position. Now taking that little sequence on the opposite side, we're going to step this left foot up in between our hands. So finding that short lunge again here, again, keeping that right knee right underneath your right hip. Taking your time, finding that stability first. Now whenever you're ready, lifting up, hands might pause just on top of that left thigh. Make any adjustments that you need to. Whenever you're ready, let's lift up, find that cactus shape one more time. Again, maybe you take your palms a little bit up towards the sky, looking up to the sky, take a little back bend here, gently pressing your hips forward. As you inhale, let's come back up, standing tall in our lunge. We're going to twist open. So just gently start to turn over towards the left side. When you turn to the left, do your arms move, sink, lift. Keep those elbows in line with your shoulders. Where did that left leg go? Can you keep it stable? As you inhale, let's turn back to center. Exhale, let's twist, let's turn over to the left. Again, option to stay just right here. Holding here for a few breaths, maybe that's exactly what you need. But if you like, you can release that left hand coming down to that low back area. Maybe you start to straighten that right arm up to the sky. Maybe you release that left hand. It starts to reach down towards your right leg behind you. Maybe it just reaches towards it. Maybe you start to lean back. You search. Maybe you can find that leg to rest on. You might take your gaze up to the sky, looking up at that right hand. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. After your next breath, again, we're going to carefully come back exactly the opposite of the way that we got here. So carefully and slowly release. Find yourself coming back to that twist with cactus arms. Carefully unwinding. Bringing both hands down to the ground on the inside of that left foot here. Again, option to find any lizard pose that you like. Stay here in this short stance. Maybe you can move that right leg back a little bit further. Taking several deep breaths here. Find any variation, movement, or stillness that you like. Take 2 more deep breaths wherever you are. And one more time, we're gonna make our way back to that tabletop position. So in your own time and in your own way, begin to transition there. Again, give yourself the opportunity to give yourself what you need right now. Any movement, any stillness, anything. All right. So options here for a couple breaths. If you need to give yourself the opportunity to rest, you can sink your hips towards your heels, just rest in your child's pose. If you are liking those back bends, if that's feeling really good, you need another shoulder stretch. Take that puppy pose one more time, walking those hands forward, sinking chest and head down towards the ground. If you'd like something a little bit different, you have the option to take your downward facing dog. So to do that, we're gonna tuck our toes under. On our next exhale, start to lift your hips high back behind you, keeping knees deeply bent, or maybe starting to straighten one leg, then the other. Wherever you are, see if you can press your chest, your belly towards the tops of your thighs. Couple breaths here. Again, option, maybe you take your head from side to side wherever you are. Now, if you're in your downward facing dog, on your next inhale, carefully lower your knees back down to the ground. If you're in your puppy, begin to walk your hands back up underneath you. If you're in your child, begin to carefully lift up. Everyone meet back into our tabletop position. Then slowly, in your own most easeful way, we're gonna come to a seat again. But this time, as we come to a seat, we're gonna come with our feet planted to the floor in front of us. So feet on the floor in front of us, maybe a couple feet from your bottom on the ground. See if you can keep your feet just about hips distance width apart. Now we're gonna take our hands behind us, palms to the ground, fingers point towards the back of your mat. Now as you press your hands firmly into the ground, can you roll your shoulders back? Maybe feel your chest lift. Maybe staying right here is feeling okay or feeling good. You have the option to stay. But if you'd like to take this a little bit further, we're gonna press into our hands and into our feet, lifting our hips up, scooting them closer to our feet and setting down. Again, wherever we are, we're gonna roll those shoulders back, keep that chest lifted. All right, so the shoulders back, chest lifted, that's the main thing we're looking for here. Feel as though there's like a string on the middle of your chest. It's pulling straight up to the sky. So again, maybe you stay right here. If you need a little bit more, you can start to walk your hands back behind you, creeping them a little bit further towards the back of the room. Again, shoulders back, chest up, holding for a couple of breaths. Wherever you are, find your place of a nice stretch, but not going into any place of pain or discomfort. All right, now if you took your hands, if you walked them further back, carefully begin to walk them closer to you again. Then pressing into your hands and your feet. One more time, let's lift those hips, set them back down where they started. Now from here, we're gonna carefully just lower onto our backs. So maybe find yourself adjusted on your mat wherever you need to. And then carefully just lower yourself down. Allow the back of your body to come down to the ground here. All right. So from here, we're just gonna find our twist, our little spinal twist. So we're gonna extend our left leg long down our mat. We might hug that right knee in towards your chest. So just stay here for a moment. All right, and then when you're ready, we're gonna take this left hand on the outside of our right leg. We're gonna start to guide that right leg over towards the left side. Now, if you have your blanket, your block, a pillow, anything, that might be a really good place to just bring it underneath that right knee as it's coming over to the left side. So just adding a little bit of support there. All right, now see if you can adjust. You can bring both of your shoulders to the ground here. You might even extend that right arm out to the right side. If this is feeling really good, just stay here. If you want to add a little bit more, so we have this left leg that's extended long. We are gonna bend our left knee, kicking that left heel towards our bottom. Now you can stay right here, or you can take this right hand, you can reach down, clasp on to that left foot. So just adding a little bit of some resistance to our twists, a little bit of a quad stretch in there. This is one of my favorite twists. Again, see if you can keep both shoulders firmly planted on the ground. Gaze could be straight up to the sky, maybe over towards the right side. Start to deepen your breath here. All right, let's carefully start to unwind. So if you took that bend to your left leg, carefully release it one more time, extending that left leg long down your mat. And then let's unwind. Let's bring that right leg back over towards the right. Continue hugging it in here. Maybe hug it a little bit tighter. Maybe rock it from side to side. Let's take just another moment here before we switch sides. All right, then when you're ready, let's extend that right leg long. Pause right here. Maybe see if you notice any difference between how the sides of your body feels, especially your legs right now. But you know where we're going, so whenever you feel ready, let's go there. Let's hug that left leg in. All right, we're gonna start to find our twist here. So maybe bring that block, that blanket, that prop. If you used it, you might use it on this side, but maybe you don't need to. Maybe you can allow that left leg to come all the way down to the ground. Let's take that right hand on the outside of your left leg and start to guide it over. All right, now once you allow that left leg to come over, can you readjust? Again, bringing both shoulders down to the ground. You might send that left arm out to the side. Maybe you want to find that little quad stretch. So bending through your right knee, kicking that right foot towards your bottom. Can you reach down with that left hand, clasp onto that right foot? Making any adjustments, again, your back is to the ground, both shoulders to the floor. Looking up, looking over to either side. Take a few of your deepest breaths right here. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. If you bent that right leg, let's release it, taking it long one more time. Unwinding, turning back to center. Reaching that left leg long to meet the right. From here, let's take a full body stretch, reaching those arms overhead, pointing fingers and toes in opposite direction. Take that full body stretch. On your next exhale, whenever you get there, let's hug both knees in towards your chest. Give a little rock side to side. All right, then finding some stillness, let's release those feet down to the ground. From here, knees go away from each other, soles of your feet come together. All right, now several options here. We're going to end tonight, we're gonna come back to that 3-part breath. So with your arms, you can rest with them just by your side if that feels the best. You can come to that place again, hands, fingers interlaced behind your head if you need a little bit more shoulder opening. If that's too intense, but you want a little shoulder opening, maybe you find those cactus arms laying here. But maybe you come back to that place, your left hand finds your belly, right hand finds your chest. Tuning back into yourself here. Allow your eyes to start to close, become heavy. Start to tune back into your breath. One more time. Anything around you, physically around you or mentally around you, let it fizzle away into the background. Just be right here. Tuning back into your breath. If it feels okay for you, start to take some of those 3-part breaths. As you breathe in through your nose, direct the air all the way down to the bottom of your belly. Feel it fill up to the middle of your chest, up to the top of your chest, filling your lungs all the way. Pausing at the top. You exhale, releasing from the top of your chest, releasing from the middle of your chest, releasing from your belly, maybe giving a little push, all the extra air up and out. Inhale, breathe in deeply. Exhale, releasing from the top, release all the way down to the bottom. Take a few more rounds, your own pace. For the next couple minutes here, you have nothing else you need to be doing, nowhere you need to be going. Keep yourself here in this moment. Focus just on you, just on your breath. Wherever you are, let's complete one more full round of that breath. So one more big inhale. A final exhale. After you push out all that remaining air from that exhale, release that control over your breath. Just return to normal patterns. Take a quick scan through your body. Notice how you're feeling. Is there anything that you still need tonight, tomorrow, this weekend? Anything that you need that would help you? How can you make that happen? Now start to find a little bit of movement coming back to you. Fingers, toes. Carefully and slowly begin to shift. You take the soles of your feet to the floor. You draw your knees back together. We're going to carefully find our way back to our seated position. So being as kind to yourself as possible, thinking about your movements before taking them. Begin to slowly shift into that seated position one more time. No rush to get there. See if you can keep your eyes down to the ground. Eyes closed completely. As you find yourself back in your seat, I'll invite you to join me as we end tonight. So we press our palms together in front of our heart. Let the base of your thumbs rest against your chest. Feel your chest lift up into your hands. We take that little bow forward. It's just a bow of gratitude to ourselves, to each other, and to our practice. As you leave your mat tonight, may you be peaceful, may you be well. Thank you so much for joining me.